Hello, everybody. Thanks for watching tonight. Make sure if you are joining in that you comment and let Janay know that you are with us tonight. Just comment where you're watching from and your name. My name is Lena Lassiter, and I'm the founder and president of Forever Healed. We are a nonprofit dedicated to helping those who are experiencing pain due to a loss of any kind. We want to help them recover, restore, and reclaim their lives. And we do this several ways. We offer one-to-one and group grief recovery classes. The one-on-one classes can be done virtually or in person. We will be offering virtual group sessions soon, so more to come on that. Additionally, we offer corporate lunch and learns and seminars to discuss the hidden cost of grief in the workplace. So again, I'm Lena Lassiter. Comment, let Janay know that you are with us tonight. Let us know where you are joining in from. We would love to hear from you. Also, have your questions ready. It's going to be some real talk tonight. I'm a senior leader at a long-term care insurance company and also an advanced grief recovery method specialist and a licensed minister. I'm also educated in crisis and trauma and will be graduating next year with a master's in counseling with a concentration in grief, trauma, and PTSD. And tonight, I have a special guest. I have been waiting all month for this person, Janay Cameron. Thank you, Janay, for joining me tonight.
Hey.
I'm so happy that you're here.
Thank you, Ms. Lena. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you. And let's see.
I'm so glad. Thank you.
I am too.
Aww.
Good evening, Miss Pat.
Hi, Wendy. Actually.
Hello from Richmond, Miss Wendy. Hello, hello, hello. So I have to just give a little background. So Janay was my personal trainer before she moved. And I say this so respectfully because she was the youngest trainer that I had, right? So going in, I remember thinking, am I going to take her seriously or is she going to take me seriously? And I have to talk about the connection because I used to serve over at Faith Landmark. So Janay used to be in my class. I had her and her brother and one of her sisters. So just the connection, right? So it's funny how you sow into someone and then they sow into you. And that's why I always say, make sure that you remain coachable, teachable, and trainable, because regardless of her age, I'm thinking, is she gonna, take this seriously? Am I gonna take her seriously, right? Because she's my youngest son age. And I have to say that when I start working out with Janay, that's when I started to see results. So you talking about somebody pushing you beyond limits, making sure I was drinking enough water. So Janay, do you recall asking me about how much water I was drinking? And I thought I was killing it.
So I think it was like 60 ounces you was drinking or something.
She was like how much water I was drinking a day. I probably was getting down one bottle, not realizing that enough water. I was so proud of myself. But anyway, she just definitely pushed me and taught me, that working out and just healthy eating and living was definitely a lifestyle, a mindset change. And she didn't take it easy on me, but I saw results. And as a result of working out with her, I remember my blood pressure medication being cut in half. I had lost my weight. I had, met my weight goal. And then we were just trying to keep me just maintained. So Janay, I've been so excited about having you here tonight to have some real talk about just healthy living, working out, and our eating habits.
Awesome. I'm excited.
Hey, Quay. Hi, Rochelle. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I appreciate it. So, Janay, we've been talking about our physical health all month long, which, again, I believe it starts in the mind. And as a result, we have had speakers discuss the benefits of a vegan diet. We've had John talk about physical fitness and cardiovascular disease. And we're going to have Kenda Sutton. Thank you for that recommendation. She's a holistic vegan nutritionist and lifestyle coach. She's joining us on August the 6th. And she's going to talk about how health starts on your dinner plate and how to use herbs, diet, and lifestyle shifts to mitigate and reverse health conditions. So I want everybody to please keep in mind that they are all specialists in their field and the information may contradict to you, but we wanted to make sure we had a diverse panel because I want to make sure that we met your unique needs. So as most of you are aware, we have paused our group classes due to COVID-19 because your safety is our number one priority. The classes are very intimate. You have partners. We're up close and personal. So we're just not ready to resume our classes as of yet. But we are committed to coming on here to bring encouragement, hope, and education during this time. Taking care of ourselves can be simple. We need to rest. We have to eat properly and do a little exercise. If you need to walk around the house, do so. And also get some fresh air. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Janay to just provide us with a little bit of her background information. And then we'll just get started on our conversation about health goals, meal preparation, our commitment, and consistency. So again, shout us out, comment, let us know where you're watching from. All right, Janay.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Ms. Lena. So a little bit about me. I'm from Richmond, born and raised. I moved to Charlotte about a year ago, from now. I've been in the fitness industry for going on 5 years. I've been a trainer for 3. I'm also a fitness nutrition specialist, and I do meal preps for my clients too. Also, I'm a massage therapist as well, so that's something that I do have. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. Not too much.
You have a lot going on. You don't have too much going on.
Not too much. No, just a few things.
So let's talk about having a plan. So why is it important to have a plan to reach your goal?
Mainly because you can't build a house without a blueprint. So I always relate to your human body as either a building or a vehicle. So you can't really build an immaculate structure unless you have a plan for it. And you can't reach your goal or your health goal, your fitness goal, whatever, unless you have a plan. Because you're going to be all over the place doing a bunch of this and a bunch of that, and you're not going to get anywhere. So having a plan, having a clear plan of, okay, going into the gym, this is what I'm going to do in the gym. This is what I'm going to eat. It takes a lot of the guesswork for you, which is why hiring a trainer is important, because you don't have to worry about having that plan for you. You have someone who literally looks at your body and says, okay, this is what we're going to do today. And you kind of just have to suck it up and go with it. So that's like, I mean, that's the reality of it. You do got to suck it up. I'm pretty sure you have to suck it up a lot.
Yeah.
I would say sorry, but I'm not sorry because you got where you wanted to be.
Right.
But that is like one of the main reasons why having a plan is important. And it's like, it gives you little milestones that you can look forward to. Like, you know, instead of setting a big goal of losing like 20 pounds, you set small goals that you can reach and you can achieve. And it does help you stay consistent as well.
Yeah, that's good. And a lot of people, will still ask me today, like, well, why do you still have a personal trainer? And I said, it's not that I don't know how to properly exercise or, how to, maintain the proper forms, but it keeps me motivated. And also you guys will come up with different routines, right, to work different muscles and joints in our bodies to just keep it interesting. So sometimes it's not about you knowing how to, do exercises properly, but for me, he holds me accountable. And again, working some of those muscles and doing exercises, Janay, or even pushing you harder than what you think you can even do, right? Because I can't do 15 reps of that, but you guys will push that out of your clients.
Absolutely, and that's important. And even I've had a trainer before, and a lot of people are like, why do you have a trainer and you're a trainer? But everyone needs someone to guide them. Even the best need someone to guide them. So having that leadership, that guidance definitely helps make things a lot easier.
Yeah, and Wendy, you're absolutely right. Yes, we need that accountability partner, and that's what I look to, to my trainer. It's just holding me accountable.
Absolutely.
So, meal preparation. Let's talk about meal prep.
That's the fun thing. Diet is the most important thing. A lot of people find it harder to stick with the diet, having it, they're like, oh, God, I can show up to the gym and do this and that. But if your diet is not aligning with it, you're honestly just going to be wasting your time. And I know you and I had this conversation a lot. It was like, okay, Ms. Lena, get it together, get your diet together. And literally, as soon as you started doing that, you've noticed, your results coming, your goals getting closer, things like that. And taking the time to like prepare your foods. There's a quote that says, one who fails to prepare prepares to fail. And that is so true in so many different regards. And when you prepare your foods, you're planning, okay, well, this is what I'm going to eat this day. And when you plan, you can kind of predict what the results are going to be. So that's why meal prep is important. It also does take out the guesswork. So say if you like one day didn't cook, or didn't feel like cooking, instead of running to McDonald's, you just open the refrigerator and get your meal prep. So it does help in those regards too.
Yeah, absolutely. And being at home, Janay, because we all working remotely now, and I have to say that I just sitting at my desk. I actually sit at my desk more because I'm not getting up and walking to meetings or taking the stairs to the fifth floor or going upstairs and refilling my water cup. And I just found myself just kind of sitting at home and not moving. And it's interesting how, and again, grabbing whatever I can real quick to eat, and it may not be the best thing for me to eat at that time, but it's interesting to me how I felt it in my body. Like I can feel myself like picking the weight back up. I can feel like my back hurting and my joints hurting. But as soon as you start making small changes, and especially like meal prep, because I'm like, okay, start back meal prepping and just having your salads again, for lunch. And I started doing that, Janay, and just small little gradual steps. And, and then you start losing the weight, you start feeling better. So meal prep is definitely key, and being intentional about it.
I remember you and I had a conversation about that word intention, and being honestly, like ever since we had that conversation, I think about it almost daily, just being intentional about everything that you do. And when you have a goal, you have to have everything catered to being intentional about your goal. Whether it's, okay, I'm going to be intentional about getting stronger, so I'm going to be committed to going to the gym. I'm going to be intentional about feeding my body well, so I'm going to take the time to to prep and do what I have to do. So that is a big thing, being intentional about your goal and what you have planned to do.
Yeah, we did have some deep conversations in the gym, didn't we?
We really did. I think we had some first moments too, honestly.
Yeah. Oh, Clarence Cameron, he said Brooklyn in the house. All right, Clarence, we see you. We see you. Hi, Chastity. She's our vice president. Welcome, Chastity. Thanks for joining us. Okay, Janay, let's keep this conversation going. So we talked about, guys, we're talking about our health tonight. We're talking about exercise, and we're talking about meal prep. We're just talking about being committed to the process. So we talked about having a plan to make your goals easier to reach. We talked about meal prep is key to any fitness goal. So now let's talk about the commitment piece of it.
Kind of going along lines with intention. You have to be committed about what you want, because like you can't be halfway in, halfway out. It's just not going to work that way. Your body's not going to react well to that way. It's just like, for instance, like, not to throw shade, but everybody on January 1st, everybody and their mama and their daddy and their cousins in the gym, and everyone knows what happens in February, March. They stop being consistent and they stop being committed to it. Mainly because one thing I see is 5 a.m. I see the gym's jam-packed, and most people, how do you go from 10 a.m. to waking up at 5 a.m. and you're trying to do that overnight? And to be committed, you don't have to do everything at once. You could do something small where you could be focused on doing that one thing small, like you said earlier, just making small changes. Like, okay, instead of going to the gym at 5 a.m., go down and walk down the street or something, or walk around the block, or be consistent with something. And if you can't be consistent with it, you're not going to be committed to it. And if you're not going to be committed to it, it's just not going to happen. That is what it is. No sugarcoat or anything like that. But you have to make that conscious decision daily that you're going to be committed to it. And it's not even just like with your fitness, just even like your mental health. That is something that you have to be consistent with and committed to, getting better and to improving and to coping and things like that. And just that's how it works with everything else. It does require a high level of consistency, even if it's just small. I tell people all the time, you don't have to sit there and all of a sudden go cold turkey. You don't have to sit there and all of a sudden, eat green all day, every day. Sure, you can eat a burger next week, but don't make your whole lifestyle of eating a burger. Do something you can be consistent with, because that's where you're going to see more results with doing.
I like that. If you're not going to be consistent, then you're not going to be committed.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's just about loving yourself, right? And taking care of yourself. We always talk to other people about taking care of themselves, but what about our bodies? What about taking care of ourselves, to start with us. And I do believe that it starts with the mindset. And you were the one, remember, I was talking about doing that vegan challenge, and I was sharing with you how I did that vegan challenge, and then day 30, I just started back eating the way I was eating before the vegan challenge. Now, remember, you said to me, it's because you looked at it like a challenge, and it wasn't a lifestyle change.
Mm-hmm.
So talking about not forgetting a conversation, like I never forget that. So it was pretty much your motive behind doing this is just being competitive, and you just want to reach that, that competitive goal. But your mind didn't change.
Mm-hmm.
Your mindset didn't change. You were like, it wasn't a lifestyle change for you, and that just resonated with me. Like, wow, like this thing has to be a lifestyle change.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's
So
really the only way to stick to it.
yeah, yeah. Yes, that's right, Wendy. Be faithful over a few things. Preach, honey. Everything originates in the mind. Yes.
That is
I,
so
I wholeheartedly agree with that. Because even when you're exercising, just to stay that perseverance, right? To reach that last 2 minutes or whatever it takes, it starts with the mind. And you guys will always say, well, go to your place, wherever that place is, but keep.
Absolutely.
And you always talk to Nay about trusting the process and not rushing it. So talk to us a little bit about that.
So that is honestly something I have to tell myself all the time because I'm impatient. But it's just more so like, I know. All right, so I remember when you and I we had a little tough moment hitting your goal. We had a tough. It wasn't much. It wasn't much to get there, but it was tough. And I think it took us. I can't remember. I remember. No, you had two goals. I remember you had two goals, and I forgot how long it took us the first one. But I remember every time, every Saturday morning after we finished the session, I'm like, okay, weigh yourself. And you got frustrated. You got frustrated for a good, probably like 20, 30 Saturdays. But on the 31st Saturday, do you remember that little happy dance you did? I remember that. But, that goes to show you, you didn't hit your goal in the first 4 weeks. You didn't hit it in the first 6 weeks, but you hit it. And that's when you have to trust the process. And one thing during that time frame, even though the goal that you had, but looking at your body, looking at your arms, like you had tricep definition, Miss Lena. I don't know if you realize that, but your tricep definition was like, whoo. But not only that, you got stronger. You were like really close to doing, pull-ups, and that was something that happened throughout the process. Even though you weren't really looking at that, I saw that, but you weren't looking at that. You were looking at that number, and
Right.
you can't. When you rush the process, you're missing out on all the other benefits that are coming along with the process. Just like I always relate to everything about building something, or I'll relate something to a garden. I always learn so many lessons with planting and gardening, and one thing of planting and gardening is like you have to be patient with it. You have to be, mindful. It takes time to reap those fruits, but along the way, you learn so many lessons in the process of you bearing a fruit. And the same thing is with your body. You learn different techniques. You learn how to, I know also too, during that process too, you start taking blood pressure medicine. During that process, you reduce your knee pain. During that process, you learn different skills, you learn different lifestyle methods and all that stuff. And so during a process, you have to trust it and trust all the lessons that's going to bring to it instead of rushing through it. Because if you rush through trying to, for instance, like we could have hit your weight goal honestly within 3 weeks. If I really wanted you to just hit your weight goal and that'll be it, we could have hit that in 3 weeks and that would have been done. But that wasn't the point. The point wasn't necessarily the goal. It was also the lessons within it. Because if we hit your goal in 3 weeks, you wouldn't have gotten stronger. You wouldn't have your arm definition wouldn't have been there. You wouldn't have been literally this close to doing a pull-up. None of that stuff would have happened had we sat there and rushed the process of you losing that weight. And that's why I always tell people it's not about weight loss, it's not about the aesthetics, it's not about looking good, it's about the internal things. It's about, I always tell people all the time too. For instance, you told me you didn't have to take your blood pressure medicine. I care more about that than your weight goal, honestly. I'll be so transparent with you. Reason why is because sure, you could 5 pounds is honestly not going to hurt you that much. Being on blood pressure medicine for the rest of your life is. And that's what matters most. And, you know, through your process, you have to learn those things. You have to, goal is not here, but the things that I'm learning along the way is going to help me not only when I reach that goal, but beyond that goal. Kind of like that's, and also too, sorry, I'm rambling, but why I'm so against random bad diets is because they hit that goal and then they're done with it. They hit their goal, they do keto, they lose all this weight. Okay, once they go off of it, 9 times out of 10, that weight's coming back on. So it's not really teaching them anything because of the process they did not allow themselves to go through. And, you know, with you learned, okay, this is what I have to do to get to here. So that way you wouldn't have to keep doing it again. You wouldn't have to keep going back and say, okay, I have to hit the same exact goal because we took the time to do it right the first time and we didn't rush it. We did it through a process. So now, you know what to do. And I honestly do feel confident enough that you don't even, honestly, you probably don't even need a trainer. You don't need anybody because I know for a fact you have that knowledge. Of course, the accountability part helps, but the point is allow yourself to grow and not just get to your goal. So,
yeah. Yeah, that's right. Miss Pat says she agrees. It's a lifestyle change. It absolutely is, Miss Pat. And I love what you said. You said it's not about the weight loss. It's the lessons that you learn through the process. Oh my gosh. You know, because it is a growth process. And my co-pastor, she said this recently, so I definitely want to give her credit for this, but she was talking about, she used the analogy of cooking, right? And the different pans, Janay, that we cook with. So she was talking about how the microwave, it takes the nutrients and stuff out of the food. And then we start talking about like what a roaster pan does, right? It has a lid on it and it holds things in. Now, are you holding in good things or negative things, right? But she also talked about the skillet and how, you know, you have to clean it a certain way because it takes on the different seasonings from even the past. So just the lessons learned through the cooking process, right? Through that process, we learn and we grow. And I thought that was just so profound, you know, something as simple as pots that we cook with, but she was talking about the process. And a lot of times we want things quick. We want that microwavable fix. And I see people talking about detoxing and doing all kinds of things like for a quick fix. But what about that mindset change? What about caring enough about yourself to want your organs to work properly, right? And to allow our bodies to function the way God has created us, you know, to function. So that was powerful what you just said. Yeah, it's not just about the numbers. It's about a lifestyle change. It's about being healthy and just taking care of yourself.
Absolutely.
And being in the process.
That's the key. Absolutely.
Yeah. Wendy said, all right now, that's great. Not just a weight goal, but internal transformation. That produces a lasting change.
Absolutely.
Amen to that. And you touched on this a little bit about just staying consistent, even if the progress is slow. So even reminding me that, yeah, I came to you and I said, I want to increase my endurance level. I can't do a push-up off my knees. And I want to hit this, you know, this particular weight goal. And I remember saying to you, I don't want to take medication. Now I'm going to be wise and take this medication, but this medication is going to cause my body some issues long term. So I just want to be healthy, lose the weight, do what I need to do to be healthy and to get off this medication. So you're right. You know, we didn't just jump in and say, hey, here's how you lose, you know, this weight. It was a consistent, slow progress.
Right. And that yields the most change, you know, because it's when you rush things, it's not as good. It's not as beneficial. You know, you can't rush anything. And when you want something that you want to build and want it to be solid, you have to take your time with it. You have to take your time to craft it and to build it and to cater to it. Because I mean, like I said before, we could have easily hit your goal. Like I think when we first started, it was like 10 pounds. I think that's 10 pounds. It's really easy to lose 10 pounds. Like it's really not that hard. You probably would have hated me for a good 4 weeks, but those 10 pounds would have been gone and would have been good. You've been fine. But honestly, but my role as my role for you was not just to solely just to get you to lose those 10 pounds. My role for you was to lose those 10 pounds in the most effective way possible, in the safest way possible. Not only that, you know, you gave me the responsibility as your trainer to make sure that, okay, you're not getting injured, that your insides are taken care of, that you know how to take care of your insides. You know, I wanted you to get to a point where you didn't have to come to me and be like, hey, Nay, can I have this? Or, hey, Nay, is this okay for me to eat? I wanted to give you enough resources so that way, as soon as you go in the grocery store, it's like, okay, I know enough to get that. I could get this, and that, and the third. And, you know, that's my role of educating you to know that. So that way it makes your progress easier and makes you able to stay consistent with it when you have the education. Because a lot of times too, people aren't consistent with things they don't know about. And, you know, lack of education is a big factor of why a lot of people don't do things properly, or why a lot of people aren't reaching their goals, because they don't know. So,
Right.
you know, the more you know, the more you take the time to educate yourself, you're able to be consistent with it. And that also goes back to being patient, because of course, you know, I'm pretty sure you hated seeing the number at above, maybe even if it was 1 or 2 pounds, that probably just drove you nuts. You're probably like, oh my gosh, why is it this high? You know, I'm doing this, that, and the third. But, you know, you have to stay consistent with it, because eventually you did hit it. And it got to a point where your goals were no longer about numbers. It was more so, okay, figuring out what my body could do next. You wanted to do a pull-up. That was your next goal. And it got to a point where it's like, okay, well, I got that out the way. I know what to do now. And you did say that to me before. I think one time it was like a couple weeks, and then it went up a number. You're like, okay, well, I know what to do now.
Yeah.
And you honestly had no words. I was like, she know what to do. She good. And we moved on to the next thing and to keep building on to you. So, you know, you got to stay consistent, stay positive. And that also goes back to trusting the process of it. Because, I mean, it's going to fluctuate. It's going to not do what you want it to do. But if you have in your mind, okay, well, I'm doing what I have to do. I'm eating right. I'm working out. I'm, you know, making sure I'm, you know, being patient and getting rest and all that stuff. So it's going to come. So, yeah.
Yeah. And we have to remember, Nate, that we didn't get here in 4 weeks, right? A lot of us didn't get here in 4 weeks. You know, some of us, we've been eating unhealthy for a long time. And like I said, sometimes even growing up, you know, if we had greens or something, they would put fat back in it, or bacon or whatever, you know, in there, a lot of salt. And that's how we grew up. But we think that we just want, you know, an instant change, you know, in 2 weeks, but it didn't take 2 weeks to get here. So you have to trust the process and be patient. It definitely works. And yes, y'all, I used to hate when she would tell me to get on that scale. And some weeks I would think that she was going to forget to tell me to get on that scale. But she could look at me sometimes and tell, and she would say, okay, what you been eating? And I would be honest, I would track my meals. So if I had something, you know, it was on there. But you know what? I never felt condemned. I never felt judged. It was just like, okay, you know, let's work that off, and let's do better next week.
And some burpees.
And the burpee. Yes, Wendy. She said, baby, still progress. I still hate burpees. Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
You remember those burpees we did on the Bosie ball, the half ball?
Yes. How could I forget that?
Those are so fun.
And her fun and my fun was always two different things. She would come to the gym always smiling, y'all. Always smiling. Just so. And I would say, all right, what we doing today? And then she said, we're going to have some fun. Well, your fun and my fun are two different things. Two different things.
Those are always good days. A good time.
Wendy said, a homemade meal is better than a TV dinner. Yep. Yep. Time, not speed. Honey, I need to pop you on in here with us, because that is so true. Time, not speed. Yes, Joanna, she had me doing burpees. Yes, yes. I wanted to kind of protest those with a sign, but she wasn't trying to hear it. But yeah, so we have to trust the process and understand that it's not gonna happen overnight. All right, so it looks like we got some questions coming in already.
It's not.
All right, so here we go. If you have a question and you don't want it shown across the screen, just put like a pound sign in front of it. It's okay. Otherwise, if you have a question, it will pop on the screen. If you are sharing this via a watch party, then we cannot see your comments unless you have given StreamYard the access to your Facebook account. So don't think we are ignoring you. We will see it after the broadcast, and I'll make sure that Nay gets your questions. With the parents working at home and the kids being at home for school, is it realistic to try meal prep for the whole household and not just one person? Chastity, is that you?
Huh, was that a question?
It's a question, Nay. So with the parents working at home, kids being at home for school, is it realistic to try a meal prep for the whole household and not just one person?
It is, but I always joke with my parents. I'll say they other kids, the other kids. But if your kids are very, kind of picky eaters, which I know a lot of kids are, does make things harder. But one thing, it also depends on age. If they're of age where they can help you in the kitchen, that would be something that would be a good family activity. Tacos could be very healthy. Of course, just replace cheese with, either a light cheese or, just maybe have like peppers or anything like that. You can definitely replace those, make them with your children. It is more realistic in that way, so that way you won't have to also worry about it. One thing too, I am a big fan of doing frozen dinners, meaning that, okay, you do your meal prep, but instead of like leaving it in the refrigerator, prep it, but put it in the freezer. And then when time comes, you just pop in the oven and then it'll be good to go. So those are things that you can do too.
Very good. And I know for me, I think with the meal prep, sometimes you kind of run out of ideas. So you get tired of eating, the same things. Do you have any recommendations for kind of mixing it up a little bit?
Sauces have become my new thing. Get like either teriyaki sauce or stir fry sauce or a lot of those seasoning packs. A lot of them have low sodium, so of course they're healthier options. And just mixing chicken. You can mix chicken like literally 100 different ways. Like maybe have like an Asian theme night or Mexican food. So there's the different ways you definitely can spice up your food, like trying different sauces. Sweet potatoes are always different ways you can go about sweet potatoes. Same with rice. And it does take some planning. It does take some creativity. Using different herbs, different types of spices, those help too. But yeah, sauces have become my new thing of trying to spice up food and different things like that.
Any other questions that you have for Janay? Type them in. If you don't want your questions to be shown, you can just put a hashtag in front of it and we will make sure that it's not shown. So Wendy said, hey, child, she's lonely over here. Any other questions for Janay? Around meal prep, exercising, what questions do you have for her? Detoxing, losing weight. All right, Janay. I really appreciate you sharing your great tips tonight. Very helpful. Very helpful. So we'll just go over them again. So having a plan makes your goals easier to reach. Meal prep is the key to any fitness goal. Commitment requires consistency. We have to trust the process and not rush it. And we have to stay consistent, even if the progress is slow. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, here we go. Does Janay do strength training?
Yes, a lot of it. Strength training is so fun. Yes, I do though.
Yes, she does. And I'm going to post her information again. Here you go. Here's her Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Also her website. And on her Facebook, there are actually exercises and workout routines posted on there. Oh, here we go. Is cardiovascular training included in the program?
Yes and no. I usually don't have my clients doing a lot of cardiovascular training, mainly because it's most of the time they do steady state, and there's really no reason why someone should watch you do cardio for 30 minutes unless you need a supervision. Now, if it was for more so like endurance training or sprint training, then yes, it is.
I like that. How often would you recommend detoxing? Uh-oh.
Okay. I do a detox every 6 months, and why I'm putting quotes is because my detox is literally just literally drinking fruits and vegetables. Instead of eating it, I just put it in the blender. I drink it for a couple of days. Now, as far as an induced detox, I highly go against it unless you are really feeling completely sluggish and gross and honestly feel like you're literally walking around with like a bag of sand on your back. Then maybe, but I'm honestly strongly against induced detoxes because you really don't need to. That's really not necessary. And if you have a lifestyle of eating a bunch of stuff that you have no business eating, then an induced detox is honestly going to do you more harm than good. So doing like a regular juice cleanse, we could call it a juice cleanse, doing one of those every few months or every 6 months. I do it every 6 months. It's always good to do. It gives your body a nice reset, gives it the nutrients that it needs, and will just help you overall.
Okay. When Wendy is silly. She's no, Wendy. Chocolate milk does not come from brown cow. Miss Pat says we are taking small steps towards weight loss. We are losing inches. If we continue, will we see weight loss?
Oh, absolutely. If you're making small steps, of course, it's not going to be as drastic as you may expect, but you will. That's just something that you just have to continue to be consistent on. But you will see. And honestly, losing inches is, in a way, it is more important than losing weight. Because a lot of times too, your weight is gonna either be stagnant or fluctuate. It's gonna go up and down. It's because there are a lot of factors that go into weight. It's not just fat. It's it's weight. You have water, you have muscle, all those things. But if you notice, okay, you have more energy. Your clothes are getting bigger. Things like that. Those are really great key factors to pay attention to. So you're doing great. Keep going. Be consistent and just don't rush your process.
Okay, thank you. And Chastity said thank you. And then she has juice cleanse. Chastity, are you asking a question? Are you asking if you should juice cleanse? Is that what she's talking about? So when you say you cleanse, Janay, a couple times a year, what do you mean by
Mm-hmm.
that?
So I would have kale, spinach, put maybe like pineapples, lemon juice, cayenne pepper in a drink, like in a blender, blend it all up, and I drink that for a few days, all that, and just water. Or if I'll drink that, water, and oatmeal. I'll eat oatmeal. So I do that for a few days, and that just kind of helps my body reset. Kind of flushes out like if I had like a cheat meal for a while and all that stuff. So when I mean by juice cleanse, that's what I mean by doing that.
Okay, thank you. Wendy asked if you can
Not
please.
drinking apple juice, not that.
Oh, you said not apple juice. Can you please speak about intermittent
No.
fasting?
That is fun. So I'm not against intermittent fasting if your body can handle it. That is a great way to burn body fat. However, not everyone's body can handle being in a deprived state for that long period of time. So that's one thing where you have to listen to your body. If you like wake up and you're like, if you're not able to function throughout the day, if you're not able to, you know, if you're tired, if you're cranky, all that stuff while you're trying to fast, then I do not recommend it because your body cannot handle it. And there's better ways to go about that. I know me personally, I know my mom personally, she does really well when she intermittent fast. Her body can handle it. Whereas I'm pretty sure if my dad tried that, it's not gonna go as well because he gonna wreak havoc. But things like that, you do have to pay attention to how your body reacts. If you're not able to function properly, then do not do it because your body's like, hey, I cannot do this, I need it, or your blood sugar might be too low. So those are things you do have to pay attention to with intermittent fasting. And if you don't know what that is, it's basically you have a eating window. Most people fast for 16 hours and then eat within an 8-hour window. So like most people like start eating at 12 and won't eat stop at eating at 8 or something like that. It usually does vary. But it is a great way to burn fat, to burn body fat, but only if you can handle it. Because if you can't handle it, then and how you will know to your body can handle it is how, or if it's doing its job, is like, for instance, like if you're very fatigued all the time, very tired, most times your body will start trying to get its glucose or this energy from your muscles, and that's something you do not want it to do. You want it to get that energy from your your fat stores, not your muscle stores, because you need your muscle more so than you need that extra fat. So, and that's a few indications of, okay, maybe I don't need to do intermittent fasting. But if your body can handle doing it, then by all means, I don't recommend against it.
Okay. And then usually with fasting, the first few days, headaches are normal, right?
Yeah, that's normal because you're depriving yourself. So, I mean, you're hungry. Usually when you're hungry, your body just like, hey, you need to feed me. Kind of how if you, like I said, I always relate to your body as a car. If you all of a sudden driving on E, your car eventually to fuel yourself, your body's meant to eat. Your body needs to eat. So if you're fasting for a few days and you have a headache, I mean, that's just your body telling you that it needs food. And that's also another indication that maybe or maybe not, your body can't handle it too. Because I mean, you shouldn't be in pain, you shouldn't be nauseous, you shouldn't be vomiting, you shouldn't do any of that. Your body, that's indicating that your body, something's wrong with your body. So that's one indication that, okay, maybe not, I need to do intermittent fasting.
Okay. Good question. Yeah, I always wonder that because I know when we fast, sometimes you get those headaches.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Well, thank you, Janay, for talking to us about being committed and trusting the process and realistic goals, and just trusting the process and taking it slow. You know, letting us know that it's okay. So I definitely appreciate your expertise and you joining me tonight. Words can't express how much I appreciate you being here tonight.
Thank you. It was such a pleasure talking to you. I really appreciate it.
All right, guys. So please share, like, and encourage those who you may feel would benefit from this information to watch the replay. The replay will be on our YouTube channel and our website and our Facebook page. And as always, if you are feeling pain as a result of any type of loss, we can definitely help. Please contact us via our website at foreverheal.com or by giving us a call at 804-684-1113. You can follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Forever Healed and Twitter at the number 4 Ever Healed. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. So have a peaceful night. And remember, y'all, we can do this. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for your questions and your comments. We had a great time tonight. Thanks, Janay.